Hello there, you beautiful soul, and welcome back to Plant-Based Cooking with Rebecca. I am so grateful that you have decided to join me once again. And I'm just really grateful to be here and to be able to, share with you the lifestyle that has been so transformational in my life. And I also want to share with you a little story about this little scar here that's on my nose, but I will talk to you about that once we get started in this segment. So last week I brought you a butternut squash and black bean soup, which was delicious. It had a cashew crema, and it was a really great recipe, awesome for fall weather. And so I'm a big fan of zucchini, and there's so many different ways that you can make it. It's really great for our gut health. Like I always talk about incorporating whole foods that are really great and easy on our gut, and they're filled with antioxidants and just all the good nutrients that our body needs. It's very versatile. So there's so many ways that you can do it. And so throughout this journey, I'll be probably sharing quite a few zucchini recipes. And today I'm gonna do a very simple one. It's gonna be onion, tomato, fresh cut tomato. I'm gonna do some kale and some vegan cheese with a new brand that I just found. So I already have the skillet here heating up, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the onions. So I have a combination of shallots and sweet white onion. So, I did about half of a sweet onion, and then I did like 3 really small shallots. I'm a big fan of shallots. They're sweet, they're full of flavor, really good for the gut health, and I just love onion as a whole. So you can put as little or as much as you want to, but again, even if you're not an onion lover, you'll notice that if you cook it a certain way, it really just adds so much flavor, and it's very different than eating onion raw. So I'm just gonna allow these to saute in here, and what I heated this wok with, or this the skillet with, is avocado oil, because I like to use avocado oil. It's an oil that can be heated at about a 500-degree temperature, so it doesn't lose the nutritional value. Typically, if I use like coconut oil or olive oil, I'm using those as sauces, stuff that I don't have to heat, salad dressings, that kind of stuff. Coconut oil, I will use it for baking, but yeah, I try to stay away from cooking, oils aside from like avocado oil at a very high temperature. And so I'm gonna go ahead and let these saute, and you wanna let them saute until they get, really kind of soft, and then you can throw in the tomatoes. So I'm gonna tell you this quick story about this thing that's on my nose. And I wasn't even gonna do a video today. Well, I kind of thought about it for a brief second. Because, this is going on YouTube, and, oftentimes the image is very important for the person who's presenting. And although I can say that I've always been pretty conscious of my appearance, I've always had to deal with, these little flare-ups, especially when it was around a stressful season. And so this is shingles. I got shingles a couple of days ago. And what's crazy is that now that I've been on this holistic, it's not crazy, it's actually very magical, that, since I've been on this holistic lifestyle, I've been able to reduce the outbreaks that I get with shingles. Before, I used to get them every other month, especially, this was over 5 years ago, when I was in very, very stressful positions in like the corporate world. And, it just triggered a lot of, sensitivity in my body. And so as I continued to alter my lifestyle and make changes based on what my body needed, my body started to clear itself. So I've mentioned to you the isogenics lifestyle, and I am religious about using isogenics, just because I've searched and searched and searched. And when Isogenics came into my life 5 years ago, it really made sense as to like the science aspect of nutrition and really how our body regenerates itself, how it's important to detoxify our bodies, how it's important to incorporate even whole foods, in our everyday life so that our microbiome, our digestive system is working properly. And so my entire life I had hormonal imbalances, which led to gut issues and, allergies, sinus infections, migraines. You name it, I would suffer from it. And so the shingles outbreaks I was getting since I was 4 years old. And, shingles is not that common to get continuous outbreaks. It's typically somebody will get them once or twice and it's usually on their body. Well, me, I always got it on my face. And so that's a very prominent area because everybody looks at your face, you know what I mean? And so I became very self-conscious about it, especially when I would have major outbreaks. And being a kid, going to school with something like this on your face, and I used to get it on my eyes and on my cheeks. Like I kind of still have a little bit of scarring from when I was younger. Except now that my body's regenerating itself, it's repairing itself and I'm, getting new skin because our skin, it regenerates itself about every 27 days. So I just put in 3 Roma tomatoes that I diced up really fine. And so I'm just gonna, saute them in here for a little bit so that it gets more of like a soft like tomato-y with onion. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start slicing these zucchinis. So I did a Mexican zucchini, and then these are actually from Mexico too, they're organic, but there's like 2 different styles. And so you can use these. I love these because you can, I like to eat them raw as well, like with hummus. I'll slice them really thin, and I'm gonna show you how I'm slicing them. So yeah, very thin slice. What's great about zucchini, and I'm going to go back to my story. You'll notice that when I do my segments or when I do storytelling that I kind of bounce around. So you need to stay with me. So I'm slicing these really thin. And what's great about zucchinis, like I said, they're very versatile. So you can even do these like a zucchini noodle. I have a little contraption, and I'll probably do that with like a pesto within the next couple of weeks. And then you can even slice these like long boat style, because I did the zucchini in a lasagna that I made like 2 weeks ago. And so you can slice these really thin, and it's almost like eating, you can make like pizza boats. You can do the spaghetti squash style. You can do these sliced real thin. You can do these on sandwiches. You can bake them. So many things, and they're so high in nutrients, that and they're so easy and fairly inexpensive. So, a lot of people think that with plant-based living that it's going to be really expensive. Well, in reality, it actually isn't. It ends up saving you money, especially if you're not doing a lot of like processed vegan food, because there are, some really great conscious brands that are doing it right. And even with like, packaged goods, they're still using really, really high integrity ingredients. And so that's really what you want to look for. And that's another thing that you'll notice that I do is that if I find brands that I really like, that really resonate with my lifestyle, my channel is not sponsored yet, and that's the goal. But just because I'm really working to spread awareness on this lifestyle because of what it's done to my for my own personal health, and why I'm teaching it, because it really, guys, like, we have the ability to regenerate at a cellular level. And so if you're giving your body what it needs throughout the day and consistently, right, like have consistent shifts every single day. I talk about 1% shifts that create sustainable results throughout the course of your life. And so, you want to make sure that you're always incorporating really good nutrient-dense nutrition. And that's another reason why I've really enjoyed Isogenics. So one of the products that I really love that's helped me, helped my body adapt to the stressful environments is Ionic Supreme. This is actually one of my favorite products of isogenics that people ask me, like, what product is it that you would take like every single day? And I would do the superfood, I do the shakes. And then the Ionics has been a game changer. I like to call it my happy tea. And so it has the adaptogenic herbs, and I'll actually put an article in the description box below that talks about Ionics specifically, and also about the importance of adaptogens. And so yes, I've been able to really I guess neutralize or manage the amount of stress, because especially right now with the times that we have, there's a lot of changes happening. We're really having to learn to adapt to these times. And so it is really important that you're giving your body what it needs every single day, so that you are adapting very well, and that your body is, detoxifying itself, getting exactly what it needs throughout the day. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually layering the zucchini on top of the tomato and onions. And I'll determine then if I want to do another one. Yeah, I think I am. I'm going to do another one, because these ones, what I do is like I'll make this dish, and then I love beans, and so we always have beans available here in the Munoz household. So I made a pot of beans, black beans, and so I would do this like on a bed of quinoa or rice. You can do brown or white. I don't do a lot of starches or rice like that all the time. But if I do, it's typically, I'm going to eat it in the most energetic times of my day, which is anywhere from 12 to 5. And so I'll probably do like a side of beans, some rice, and this on the side. And then I'll do like half of an avocado, so that you have a good macro meal. And I'm not one to, teach calorie counting. I'm one to teach people sustainability and just having healthier boundaries. You know what I mean? Like you having boundaries with the food you eat, with your self-talk, with the way that you take care of yourself on a daily basis. So this is going to be quite a bit of a serving. This is actually a really good side dish for the holidays, guys. Especially like with the vegan cheese. Oh my gosh, it's like a really nice kind of like an Italian style layered pasta dish. Uh-oh, I fell. Yeah, so it's very, very nutritious and very fueling, satisfying. I like to say that my food is very satisfying. So then you just mix this up here. So today I'm actually going to use some Middle Eastern spices. You don't have to, but I will show you the brand that I use. One of my a good friend that lives in Indiana, actually Cleveland. He's from the Middle East, and he introduced me to these spices. And so these are ones that you can use on Middle Eastern dishes. You can use on hummus. You can use on dishes like this. But it's Adonis spices, the satar. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that. But you can do like any of your spices. The whole purpose of this show is just to teach you how versatile this lifestyle could be. So I'm gonna do about a teaspoon. Sprinkle that on top. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of oregano too, because it's gonna be more of an Italian style. So I'm gonna do a teaspoon of the oregano, and I'll put the measurements in the description box below as well, because if you're not following along all the way through the video, which I highly recommend, that will be very helpful. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of sea salt. I like to do the very, very fine sea salt. And then you just let this, I'm gonna cover this up actually for a little bit and let this saute. Zucchini cooks pretty fast. That's one of the reasons why I like to do these types of dishes, and then also baking them. So I'm gonna do, I got like a red kale. So most of the time I use like Jacinto, but they didn't have it available. So you can do, it has like a purple color. And I like to do the kale very, very fine. So you could do about a cup a cup maybe, like half of the bunch. Cut it up really, really fine. And so the kale is gonna be easier to digest, like when it's blanched. I do like to eat it raw, but most of the time my kale, I like to put it in like my stews. I like to put it in like sautés like this. In my, I like to do like tofu scrambles with these. So then you'll put the kale in towards the end when the zucchini is already cooked. So yeah, like I said, I had been really managing, my outbreaks, because once I really started to get to the root of like a lot of my health issues, is more so when I changed my diet. And I was looking at memories of when my diet changed, and my diet changed pretty significantly about 8 years ago. And as my lifestyle progressed, as I started to learn my body a little bit more, I started to make adjustments. So I always teach the process of elimination so that you're able to really gauge, how your body's feeling with all these transitions that you're making. So it's a lot of more of a sustainable process, because oftentimes, like with plant-based living, people pick it up as like a fad thing to do. They want to lose quick weight, reduce the inflammation, which is all great reasons why to do it. But for me, it was more about just overall the longevity of my wellness. And I had been doing a lot of research and, not just only learning, but also implementing it in my own lifestyle to understand how it would affect my body. And so I initially removed red meat completely, and then I started noticing that my gut I started to experience a lot more movement in my digestive health. And then slowly I eliminated the pork, and then slowly I eliminated the chicken, and then I became pescatarian for a while. Eggs were the ones that were a little bit harder for me to remove. So eggs and cheese were the last two items that I really had the hardest time doing. But again, it was a series of events, a series of trial and errors that really helped me gauge, what was going to really work. Because as I was learning about Eastern medicine and understanding the anatomy of the body, I realized that it takes a while for your body to go through the regeneration process. So the longer that you wait to start the holistic health process, the longer it's going to take for you to kind of do a complete reset, because you have to understand that you've done so much damage over the years to your body doing the wrong thing. And so now incorporating the right thing and unlearning everything that you thought was going to be true about nutrition, it's a lie. So when you understand that you have the ability to heal your body at a cellular level with the amount of, the amount of changes that you're making, because there's a saying that says that you cannot heal your body in the same place that you got sick. So if you're living in the same conditions, if you're doing the same thing that got you to that place, things are never going to change. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. First of all, expectations. Having false expectations leads to disappointment. And so you have to understand that every person that reached a level of success had a roadmap, and they had a blueprint that they were following, right? And so you cannot get to a place, of sustainability and overall well-being if you're not willing to make the changes necessary for you to get there. And so plant-based living is definitely the way to go, especially if you're doing more of a slow transition. And like I had mentioned in my other videos, I do transition coaching. I do kind of a series of practices and modalities that I incorporate into my coaching. I am a mind, body, soul coach, so we do talk about mindset, spirituality, incorporating plant-based living, meditative practices, which look very different, like it looks different for a lot of people, right? And so it is just teaching you how to sustain that lifestyle based on your own personal, because everybody's life is so different, right? And so incorporating these modalities where it makes sense into where you currently are with your life. So if you are interested in learning more, I do offer complimentary consultations the first time, and then I can explain how my services work and, you know, the cost and all of that. So, you know, just knowing that you are being guided by somebody that has been able to go through the holistic healing process, is still going through the process. As you can tell, my body has been purging significantly over these last couple of years. And so that's really what we have to do. Our skin is the largest organ on our body. And so anything that you are experiencing internally is often going to come out through your skin. So, you know, I used to get a lot of breakouts, not just with shingles, but also with acne. And so, you know, cleaning out my body, detoxifying my body, de-stressing my body, gave my body the ability to heal itself naturally. And so, and purge out naturally. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. It smells delicious too. So I think the whole like cooking process with cutting and everything could be about a 30-minute process, because zucchini, like I said, you can leave these covered for about 15 minutes, making sure that you're turning it. And then the cheese that I'm using today is it's called it's a brand called Violife, and I actually got this one at Natural Grocers. You'll notice that I do shop at Natural Grocers a lot, because in the town that I'm in, I don't have a Trader Joe's like I used to when I was in the other cities that I lived in, and I don't have a Whole Foods available to me either. And so there are some natural, if you do live here in Las Cruces, I do offer face-to-face interactive coaching. And so if you are a follower of mine that lives here in Las Cruces, I am available to go to you, and we do grocery shopping as well. So I teach you how to find all of these really great ingredients and brands that are going to be more sustainable and really just clean. But we do have a Toucan, and we have like a market co-op. We have a Sprouts, and we have a Natural Grocers. We have stores like Albertsons and which other one? Oh, one Walmart. And so, you know, Walmart, I try to stay away from the big box retailers often, just to give more of an opportunity to, you know, smaller companies, especially ones that are very prominent and carrying brands that are more consciously made. But I haven't tried this brand yet. I usually do the mozzarella from Follow Your Heart, and this is the one that I was going to use today. But you can use this one, or you can use this one, and Daya has a one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the kale in here. And then should be done in another couple of minutes. And then I'm going to throw, you can throw about a cup of the mozzarella, more if that makes more sense to you. It's going to be kind of like a pasta bake. So you just let that melt. And then again, you can pour it over quinoa, rice. You can do maybe like a noodle. You can do some black beans, a slices of avocado, however you want to do it. But that's it. So I'm going to show you what this looks like here. Look how delicious that is. And so once it melts, once the cheese melts, you can turn it over again, and then you can add a little bit more cheese and kind of just let it saute over the heat for a little bit longer. So that is it for today's segment. I am so grateful that you decided to join me today. Oh, and my shirt says, "In Plants We Trust." This is a brand called Beat by Beat. It is out of LA. I'll also put the link down there. I got this shirt about 2 years ago. I don't think they have it anymore. But if you are interested in supporting more vegan brands, Beat by Beat is an amazing one that you definitely need to check out. So peace for now, and I will see you soon. Bye.